Okay, so we're going to react to building that's going on in Judea and Samaria. 34 settlements have been approved. A few $100 million has been approved from the Israeli government to expand roads, get the approval for hotels to be built. There's a massive build going on in Judea and Samaria. Obviously, there are European countries that are unhappy about it. Muslim countries are unhappy about it. But nonetheless, this is what I've said has to happen in order for there to be peace, not only between Israelis and quote unquote Palestinians, but between everyone in the Middle East. Israel has to have one state, full control, and then work out residency with the Gazan and Judea and Samaria Arabs. Let's get into it. Before we do, make sure to subscribe, like the video, leave your comments, follow me at Rafi the Realtor for all of your residential real estate needs. You can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description and pinned comment. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to a very special Judeacation here on JNS TV. We've taken this show on the road. We are at the Ein Shemesh farm just outside of Jerusalem near Ma'ale Adumim. My very special guest on this week's show is Nate Waller. He is the Director of Impact at the Israel Guys, HaYovel, and we're going to jump right into it. Nate, it's great to have you on.
Josh, thanks for having me. This is a real pleasure. I listened to your show quite a bit back, for the last years. I mean, you've been on the air for a while. So thank you.
I appreciate it. So let's start by asking, what is the Israel Guys? Or maybe I should ask, who are the Israel Guys?
That's right. So it really started with my dad. We were organic farmers in Tennessee, and my dad made his first putting out content of saying, hey, this is the real story. This is really what's going on. This is literally what's happening on the ground. We're living it. We're seeing it. We're a part of it. And so we have two sides. We help the farmers and we inspire the world to stand with Israel. That's our mission. That's our goal. And that's what we do here.
We're going to certainly get more into it, but I want to start with the farms. I mean, here we are, beautiful landscapes, Judean desert. And I want to know about this specific farm, where we are today. And in general, why are farms so important? Why is it such a crucial subject matter in today's reality?
Absolutely. I think we can look at let's look at the politics. Jump right into politics here. What's going on in the world? The entire world is up in arms over farms in Judea and Samaria. This doesn't make any logical sense. Like, who cares about farms, right? Like, I don't see any news articles talking about vineyards in California. I don't see any news articles about, cattle farms in Venezuela or wherever. Like, that's not the story. But somehow these farms have become a headline across the globe. Around the world, they're becoming a headline. And why? It doesn't make any logical sense. They're being sanctioned. We talked about this a little bit earlier. They're being sanctioned by international bodies, even as we speak. Canada just sanctioned several of the farmers that we have worked with. Sadly, because of these sanctions, it automatically puts limitations on who we're allowed to help. And these are farmers that are they've got 20, 30 sheep. They're out on a hill with their family, and they're being sanctioned. And truthfully, it does a lot. It closes up their bank accounts. It closes up everything. They can't operate. But why? And I think that's really the question of why farming is so critical here and why the world cares about farming. And really, what I believe it comes down to is the Bible. This is the foundation of why it matters. Is God said there's 5 places in Israel that God gives a covenant to the patriarchs: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you're Christian, if you're Jewish, it doesn't matter. This is the foundation of our faith. This is where it all starts. Is these 5 locations. God's promise to Abraham starts in Elon Moreh. He gives him a 4-part promise. He says, "I will be your God. You will be my people. The land that you're standing on will be yours and to your descendants forever." And number 4, the nations can be a part of the story. I will bless those that bless you. This is the 4-part promise that he passes down to Isaac and then to Jacob. The second place he gives that promise is in Bethel. He gives it again in Jerusalem, again in Hebron, and the 5th place is in Gerar. Where's Gerar? Gaza Strip. So we got 4 places. 4 of those are Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, and the 5th one is in Gerar. So if we look at this on a modern map, that's East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. Now it starts to make sense. This whole war starts to actually make logical sense. This is whether the word of God is true or not. This is what the battle's all about. Is the word of God actually happening right now? Are the Jewish people returning to the land that God promised them 3,000 years ago? Is that literally what's going on? I believe it is, and I'm seeing it firsthand with these farmers. They're coming back to take possession of the land that God gave them, and the world doesn't like it. Because if that's true, that's trouble for China. That's trouble for America. That's trouble for the entire world, that there's a God, and he's bringing his people home. And I believe that's the war that's going on. Really, if we zoom out a little bit and we look at it, like, we can talk about this, that, and this is, if they did that and they did this, but I think really what it boils down to is the word of God true or not? Is this our foundation? Is this where it comes from? And I think that's the simple fact of why these farms are so controversial and why it's getting so much international attention.
I couldn't agree with you more in terms of the ideological reasons, the theological reasons, the biblical reasons, the historical reasons. I want you to explain to people, though, who may not be familiar with what actually happens on the farms on a practical perspective. What are these farmers doing? Is it, the sheep? We're out here, we're seeing chickens, and we're saying we'll talk about the project that you're involved with here on this specific farm, buildings going up and agriculture and animals. Explain practically what these farms do from very early in the morning till very late at night.
So practically speaking, these farmers are coming out. So the area was divided up into area A, B, and C under Oslo Accords. Area C given under the Israel jurisdiction of area that's under Israeli control, under Israeli military control. They're under these areas. All of these farms that we're helping are inside of Area C, and it's a little bit of politics there. But these farms are coming in. They're being established on this area. They're not stealing Palestinian land. That's not happening. What they're coming in is in designated areas that are allowed for Israeli control. They come in. They're building these farms on these places, and it's young families. They have 2 or 3 young children usually. Some of them are bigger families, older, whatever. Some of them are teens coming out starting these farms. But they're settling down with sheep, cows. This farm we're on right now is an organic farm. They're grazing vegetables. They also have a sheep farm right next to those 2 brothers right here. They're working together. They're holding this land in the area. So early in the morning, they're getting up, taking their sheep out to pasture, coming back during the heat of the day, and taking them back out in the evenings, and raising organic produce. They've got olives, organic olive orchards here. Organic vegetables are growing. They've got small homestead chickens, that kind of thing going on. And yeah, it's really a returning to the land, returning to the ancient way that Jews lived here for thousands of years, and they're coming back to that. And we're seeing that all across Judea and Samaria, and particularly on this farm.
I want to ask you about the sheep because I know the importance of herding sheep, taking sheep out the pasture, because when Jews are on the land, then the illegal Arab building, the illegal Arab squatting, confiscation illegally of land can't happen. That's right. When there is a presence out in the fields, number one. And number two, if you're talking about these small farms, I know that farmers, shepherds, when they're out in the fields with their flocks, they're actually the eyes and the ears of the entire area and can actually alert the security forces if there is an impending terrorist attack or whatnot. I mean, talk about your experience. And is that accurate?
100% that's accurate. And actually, terrorism has tanked since this farm. So before October 7th, there was 50 farms in Judea and Samaria. Today, there's over 220 farms in Judea and Samaria. Massive explosion of farms being planted in Judea and Samaria. Ariel Sharon said, I know you can, likes or dislikes, whatever. But Ariel Sharon said that the places where there's farms and communities, the nation of Israel will protect. And I think we see that even with October 7th, is the withdrawal from Gaza took the army out because there was no communities or farms inside of Gaza Strip. And so the same thing's happening.
This is incredibly true. Wherever there is building, there is safety because they set up military outposts, they set up additional farms. Israel is coming back. The people are growing Judea and Samaria. This is the only way forward. The Muslim world will see Israel as a Jewish land because they know deep down that that's what it is. And they'll come to terms with that. Many of them have, and they will continue to do so more. It'll be better for both sides. So I hope to see this continuing. I know that even the enemies of Israel don't see how this is a good thing, but mark my words, this is the way forward. So thank you as always for watching. Make sure to subscribe, leave your comments, like the video, follow me at Rafi the Realtor for all of your residential real estate needs. You can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description or pinned comment, and I look forward to you tuning in to the next video. Peace.